Hey everybody, it's your girl MT, and we're back with another episode. Last week you heard from one of my good friends, Pastor Z, and this week we will be doing part two. I believe we left off with a question. Have you always kept God in your dating situation? And yeah, what was an interview just turned into a conversation. I promise you guys this episode is really, really good. It features our friend Jonathan, who is also a member of the church that I am attending down here. So enjoy.
Got you doing a new thing in me. Blessings after blessings you bring. I promise ever so graciously. Changing the world starts here, you'll see. Got you doing a new thing in me. Blessings after blessings you bring. I promise ever so graciously. Changing the world starts here, you'll see.
Are you asking me if I've sinned?
No, I'm just asking you if, okay, example. Before my uncle passed, I was seeing someone and they didn't believe in God, but it didn't bother me because I believed in God, right?
Oh, Lord.
So,
Why do y'all do that?
okay, don't judge me.
I'm not judging you. I'm asking, why do y'all do that?
I didn't know, and honestly, I didn't know what being equally yoked meant.
Okay.
I really didn't know that.
Okay.
So, I made mistakes in relationships,
We all
but have you kept God centered in your relationships?
I would say yes, since Jesus became active in my life. It's a beautiful blessing. Jesus has really kind of taken over my whole life since 2017, since becoming a leader, and obviously since being ordained. But no, not always. Always, I was dating according to the world standards. I was dating just to hang out, just to chill, dating for a vibe, dating for sex, dating for, me and my boys would say, I just need a little squeeze. That's it. I just need a little tenderoni. I just need somebody. Yeah, I just need somebody. That I could cuddle with, and yeah. Look at her. She's singing Bobby Brown now. But so no, I wasn't. I wasn't buck wild. I don't think I had. I didn't have a whole face.
You didn't?
I didn't have a whole face. I wasn't like that. I'm not like that. Because Jesus was always there. He wasn't very active, but he was always there, and so I always knew that.
That's so true.
That I shouldn't do that, and also I didn't want to get nobody pregnant. So because that was gonna be horrible. So I was definitely afraid of getting people pregnant. So I just was like, nah. And I was focused on. I'm kind of the same. Like when I'm focused, I'm focused.
What's a whole face?
Like you out here doing shit.
I don't like that term.
You didn't like that term?
No, I don't like that term.
That's what they call it.
I know. That don't mean I have to like it.
Oh, yeah. So a whole phase is where you wilding all outside. Like,
Outside.
you like sleeping with a new person every weekend, or every month, or you just sleeping with multiple people, not caring. And not caring about their feelings, not caring about what it's doing to you, and the destruction it's having in your heart. Bulldozing, having a black book, be a sliding in DMs, whatever you want to call it. That's how I would define whole face.
Okay. All right, cool.
Was that too vulgar?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just don't. What somebody might describe as a whole face, somebody else might say that's something different. That's why
Do you
I
agree?
ask. I think anything that doesn't involve a commitment
being a hoe.
Because you don't necessarily have to be like having sex or anything. You can still be a hoe just by talking to multiple people. So if it doesn't have commitment, it can be.
Oh wow. Maybe I am. Maybe I do have a whole phase. I mean, cause so I would like there would be weekends when I would have a date every day, like Friday,
Of different people.
different people. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We weren't sleeping together. I mean, it wasn't like I was. That's your definition, okay?
He dipped his toe in the water.
I don't think I was breaking hearts. Well, I don't. Not reasonable hearts. Not reasonable hearts. Okay, if we hang out one time, that does not mean that I'm gonna be making you my girlfriend in 2 weeks. I'm sorry. Like,
I can't even say nothing to that because I'm the same.
so I'm saying, like, it depends. Like, if I've seen you, like, I've never seen someone 3 times in a row while seeing other people. Does that make sense? No. Okay, so I will have like a first date or a second date and then have multiple first dates or second dates. But like if I'm going to see you like a third time or a fourth time, then I'm clearing the water.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. You still had a.
That's fine.
I don't call it a whole phase, but
What do you call it?
don't ask me that question.
Well,
This is mild.
I don't have a name for it. No, he had a whole phase. There was no commitment, so
Mild.
you was just
but that's such a broad definition.
starting and bop. That's what he was doing.
Thotting and bopping. That's what you call thotting and bopping?
No, I'm just
Oh.
saying that I'm trying to follow your whole phase thing. I just think you were. I don't know.
He was out
I'm
there,
not gonna
but
give
he
it a
wasn't in
name.
there. He was out there, but wasn't in there.
Yeah, he was out there. He was outside. He was outside.
Okay, yeah.
So, but I can't really say nothing to him because I lacked commitment.
Oh, okay.
So
So you was breaking hearts?
on purpose too.
Ooh. She had us.
I feel
She had me
bad.
feeling like I was. I never broke someone's heart on purpose.
I don't want to say like it wasn't intentional. I didn't do it with the intention to break your heart, but I didn't care that I did break your heart either. So it was hurt people, and so
okay.
I shouldn't
You
have
was
been
hurt.
dating in the first place. But because I was, yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
Next question.
Oh wow. Your followers are learning a lot about you.
I know. What's dating like for you now?
What's dating like for me now? Now I've kind of like given up on dating, honestly. I have given it.
Hey, y'all, I promise y'all, he be my. Tell
I've-
all my business.
I've given it to the Lord. I don't know. I think there's some things He wants me to do in my single life that, but I've just been asking to hear from Him. So currently, I don't really know exactly. I'd say I'm not. You know, it's a lot harder for me personally because as a pastor, I have to meet somebody. If I'm going to court them, if I'm going to date them for marriage, like they have to be okay with being a pastor's wife. And a lot of it's either I meet women that are like, I was born to be a pastor's wife, and that's weird. That's weird. And they've basically said it to me like that.
What?
But it was like, I'd be a great pastor's wife. And it's like, I'm really good with people. I can do this and this and this. Like they're selling themselves to me. And I'm not saying, hey, do it. Hey, get it how you live. Hey, do what you got to do to get what you want. But it's weird. So I don't really, or I meet women that run for the high hills, or they do well, that's your thing. That's you. That's what God's doing with you. It doesn't really have anything to do with me. And so the thing is, that's incorrect. At least that's not the way I'm going to have it. I'm not going to have a wife that does her own thing, and I'm a minister,
It's weird.
like what? So what? You not coming to church with me? Like you not like we're not gonna be on the poster together? Like what are you talking about? Like so that's what I meet a lot. It is. I have essentially I've been chasing Jesus so hard that first of all, Jesus is the worst wingman ever. Okay, he's the best, but he's the worst because when Jesus stands up, I mean, I'm telling you, he's the light. It's like, and I mean, I guess they're cockroaches, but as soon as you turn the light on, they just scatter. I mean, as soon as Jesus stands up, there's always a problem. So far, there's always been a problem when Jesus stands up. Either it's purity, either it's doctrine, either it's, no, that's it. But those are big topics. Like it's just, and I just said, Lord, you're going to have to do it. And I'm waiting for him to show me who because I believe, especially for pastors, God is really present. And I'm not saying he can't be in your life. I'm just saying for me personally.
Should be more present in yours, your pastor.
Okay. So in my life, God is like, for pastors' wives, selecting that, like that's really a God thing. I mean, that's really who is God calling you towards, and who is God confirming. And that's really what I'm looking for right now. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's kind of like whatever, it's just like, I'm hopeful. I enjoy my single life. I have a great time. I don't want to be single forever, but what you looking like that for? Yo, you should have seen that look. Yo, she gave me that whole.
I agree.
Oh, okay. I thought he definitely having a good time with it.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. I was agreeing, like, because being single is, I don't think that I was made to be single. Like he said earlier, that's not a gift that I have, but I enjoy it. While I have it, I enjoy it.
And you should.
It's very well. You don't have to. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but
yes, don't. Anyway, we still have you as your pure image is intact. So we have,
and they'll stay intact.
Yes, it will. It will. So that's me. How's dating for me now? Waiting on the Lord. That's if it was a Facebook status, that would be that, not forever. Okay. But yeah, forever. Listen, I've been going to the throne room like Lord with my watch, like Lord, yeah, I've been going to the throne room like, Lord, what are you doing? Like, what is really going on here? Because I don't know how much longer I can last here. Can we speed this up? Or
when you're praying to God about dating, or you got to be really, really specific with your prayer.
Yes,
really,
you should.
And then don't just pray for like boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Don't just pray for somebody. You got to pray for to be able to maintain. Like, what if God sends you your person and you mishandle them because you didn't do the necessary preparation? So your prayers have to be really, really specific to that. I would say that.
For me, as a single pastor, one thing I'm always hearing is, "Oh, you missed out. You missed opportunities."
Fumbled the bag.
Huh? Oh, fumbled the bag. Yeah, whatever. Oh, that would be a good wife. Or that'd be a good wife. Oh, you missed it. You missed it. And that can get very frustrating. Because it's like, listen, I'm listening for God and I haven't heard it. And then some people are suggesting, I'm like, what? Like, nah, I'm good. And I appreciate people's, and I'm sure everybody who's in church has people like that and who are single, young. It's like, oh, what about them? What about them? What about them? And it's like, then you talk to them and it's like, there's no connection, nothing, no attraction. And I'm not saying attraction is everything.
No.
But
you have to be attracted to them. I'm sorry. I firmly believe that you have to be attracted to her. How I'm gonna do anything with you if I'm not attracted to you?
Some people believe that it can be built or it can be created. Or
I'm sorry. And if that's in the Bible, I ain't see it.
I don't know. I think so. Here's people going to disagree with me, and I haven't done a full-fledged study of Song of Solomon. But when you hear, and I have videos about this on my channel, when you hear when they talk about their loved one, when you hear the description, they're describing physical attributes I'm missing the phrases, so I'm not gonna say them. But I mean, it's poetry, so it's not like you can't use it like it today. It kind of is weird, but in our Western context, but back then those were like very poetic ways to express how beautiful they believed that their person was. And I believe that attraction is, in Proverbs 5, it talks about men being intoxicated with the love of their wives. And even some translations say the breasts, like you're intoxicated, let her breasts fill you at all times, because it's telling you not to be swayed by prostitutes and focus on your wife. And for men, that's a very important lesson for us, is to learn to enjoy our wives for the rest of our lives, and not the next best thing, or the rest of your lives. Yes, the rest of your life.
I had to make that clear. I had to say that again.
Yes, I can tell. It's starting to get into the triggering part for you.
No, I'm not triggered, but it's just like, marriage is so sacred and it's so good, and it's a covenant before God, and it's just so crazy how many divorces is.
Yeah, the statistics are like, but the statistics are skewed because they don't really take an age. Like if you got married between the ages of 15 and 22, your likelihood of divorce is like 60-70%. But if you get married like after 25, the likelihood of divorce first time goes down to like below 50. So it's a little skewed there. But overall marriage, because of that, marriage is like 51. Like I think it's at 51% right now.
That's crazy though.
All people. If you get divorced, your likelihood of getting a divorce again goes up like crazy. Like you get married once, it's like a downward spiral. You're gonna get divorced again.
And I think biblically, the only reason you should get a divorce is if they created adultery, right?
There's 3.
It's not just that one?
No. So there is adultery. There is if they have lost the faith, or you're married to someone that's not a Christian. I mean, the way the context is, if you're not a Christian and then you find Christ while you're married, and then your spouse doesn't believe and doesn't follow Jesus, and then wants to leave you, you can let them go, because God wants us to live in peace. This is 1 Corinthians 7. And then also death. So if you're abandoned and your spouse wants to leave, they've lost the faith, they're not a Christian anymore, then they're free to go. You're not bound in such cases, because God wants you to live in peace. Because the Apostle Paul the church in Corinth was buck wild. Like it was crazy over in Corinth. And he was leading people, and a lot of people were having sex. There was a man sleeping with his father's wife. I mean, it was crazy. And Paul was like, he had to lay down the law, or he had to lay down the lessons, the scripture, what God's word is concerning marriage, which is another thing that, we can get to, but we'll get to that. But yeah, those are the 3. So death, if they lose the faith and want to leave, and then adultery.
I didn't know about the other 2. I really didn't know about the other 2, but I definitely know someone cheating on me. Period.
Yeah. And that's on period. Is that what y'all say? Yeah.
I did not say that. It's just period. With the dot.
That's the city girls.
That's another conversation.
Different
I don't
conversation.
know. Okay. Where am I? All right. What are you looking for in someone? I hope they heard that,
Say it again.
What are you looking for in someone?
Jonathan says, I'm looking for the female version of the Pope. Well, then that means she'd be Catholic. And I wouldn't date a Catholic. So,
Have you ever been to Catholic church? No.
I went to Catholic high school. Yes.
I went to this has nothing to do with nothing, but I went to what do you call it when I had a friend who was Catholic and she got converted. I don't know.
Converted or catechism?
Yeah, I don't know. It was like a conversion thing. It was a whole ceremony. It was really long.
From Catholicism to Protestant? Or you don't? Okay.
She was young. We were like, it was, yeah.
Okay.
She had her first communion.
Oh, so yeah, that's the catechism thing. Yeah, that's No, I would not date a Catholic, not really. It's a different.
It's just under the same umbrella.
Not really. No, it's a works-based faith. It is rosaries, confession, communion.
I was taught that it was like they're Christian. It's just a different.
This is what I mean when Jesus stands up. Everybody's like,
I'm just gonna,
no,
it's.
I would say, yeah, it's under the umbrella, but they are. When you really dive down into the tenets of Catholicism, it's very different.
It is different
than what the Bible says.
I don't consider them. I just know that they're under the umbrella.
Yeah, because they don't even have the same Bible.
They don't.
So
they don't even have the same faith.
I don't feel comfortable saying that.
Mary being
yeah, they pray to Mary. They pray for the dead. They believe the dead pray for them. They believe that you can save somebody after death. All things that Jesus didn't talk about. And they have books in the Bible that are in the Old Testament that Jesus didn't affirm in Luke 24:44. I mean, that's a whole video. And but no, that would not. I wouldn't call them Christian. I would say they're Catholic. But I'm fine with people saying under the umbrella. But what I'm looking for, I like girly girls. I like a woman that's very, that carries herself. I don't know. She carries herself like a girly woman. I don't know. She likes to do like a lady. She likes to keep herself up. She likes to do her hair. She likes to do her makeup, or she likes to get dressed. I don't know. It's just like the complete opposite of masculine. I want that. I want a feminine woman. I want a Proverbs 31. Oh man. Proverbs, and a lot of women say that they Proverbs 31, but if you read it, it says that she does her husband good and not evil all the days of his life. All the days of his life. She is trustworthy. She is dependable. She's reliable. I want a woman that is pursuing Christ. She doesn't have to be on my level, but she definitely has to recognize, if I'm going to be courting her, she has to realize that, this is, if you on level 2, you about to go to a level 8 if you're going to be in my life, because that's how big Jesus is in my life.
I have a side question.
Okay.
What does being equally yoked mean to you?
Say it again.
What does being equally yoked mean to you?
Equally yoked. Okay. Paul says, be ye not unequally yoked with non-believers. What fellowship does light have with darkness? What fellowship does Jesus have with Belial? So equally yoked from a biblical perspective, I believe, is that you two are on the same page with Jesus. Jesus is active in both of your lives, not inactive in one and active in the other. That's unequally yoked. Ideally, you are comparable. That means maybe one is, you can't measure it based on like how long you do a devotional, or you can't measure it based on really any of that stuff. But you need to be on the same playing field, and there needs to be a pursuit. Both of y'all need to be pursuing Jesus. If there's a dual pursuit of Jesus, and a recognition of the denial of self. Luke 6:33, Jesus said, if anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself daily, pick up his cross, and follow me. And so there needs to be a similarity of that. Like, there's no walk of Christ without a denial of self. That's just the way it goes. And so if you're dating someone that does not have those beliefs, if there's no, like, scriptures are not written on their heart, you guys are not equally yoked. Now, I think the idea is the interest and the steps. Are they walking towards Jesus? Are they taking steps towards Christ? Maybe not at your level. Maybe they haven't grew up in church and know a bunch of scriptures and all that. And that's not what I'm looking for, but they definitely have to be in pursuit of Christ. And that is what I believe equally yoked is, because it can't be. And when I say pursuing Christ, that means you have a biblical perspective of things. Like, you want to know, you both equally view the Bible as authoritative in your life. So, yeah, because without that, you're not even starting from the same spot. So, like, yeah, you have an issue. I'm going to go to the Bible. What does the Bible say about it? And then we can talk up to other people, or then we can talk about advice from family or whatever. But if the Bible is clear on something, there is no argument. Yeah. And so you're not equally yoked with someone that doesn't have that same view of the Bible. If you ask them, that's a red flag. What is your view of the Bible? If they say, well, it was written by man and we don't know, it got errors, we don't know if it was, then that's a red flag. And you guys are not equally yoked.
You're triggering me. Okay. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
This is good stuff.
It is really good stuff. Good. I think even with, like, being equally yoked, a lot of, if you don't believe in God, and I learned this, but if you don't believe in God, and, like, I'm somebody who believes in God, if I date somebody who doesn't, our values are different. Yeah. The way we go about things are very, very different. And so what makes sense to me will not make sense to you. And what makes sense to you is, like, dumb to me. So, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. And I guess further on to a woman that I'm looking for is, does she want me to lead? And is she going to follow me?
Mission. Oh my gosh. And I don't have a question about that.
Yeah.
I have to do it on the,
you do, but I have a video about submission where a married couple actually talked about it, and it's really good. Reggie and Kim.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're gonna shamelessly plug.
Ain't no shamelessly. This is what we do. This is like we here.
Plug.
Yeah. But you could definitely do one as well. I mean, it'd be amazing, especially from a female perspective, because y'all, you know. Yeah. I do want a woman that will submit when I've earned it, you know, when I marry her. And I have a video about when a woman should submit to a man.
Where do you meet the women that you date? Is there anything that's, like, off limits?
I'm different. People will disagree with me, but you're less likely to find a woman to date in the club or, you know, whatever. And I don't really go to the club. I don't go to the club at all. I go to places that turn into clubs later, but I leave before it to turn up. I go to bed. One thing about being a morning person, you have a great excuse for leaving before the turn up.
I'm not a morning person at all, and I still go to bed early.
Oh.
So it doesn't even have anything to do with. I do.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Sleep is real good.
Yes, you
That's
sleep.
my favorite gift from God.
Yes.
I love this.
Yeah. So for me, I believe Jesus can go anywhere. And so you can find Jesus anywhere. Period. So I don't have any qualms with, you know, I believe God can show someone that's worthy of dating, or, you know, my wife. He could reveal my wife to me anywhere.
I don't think you want to meet your wife in the club, though.
I don't think so either. And I'm not looking in a club. Do I happen to find myself in situations that could be defined as a club? Yeah.
Like
Bars.
I like bars.
You know, most brunch spaces are like bars too, or have bars. So, you know, it's.
There's nothing wrong with a bar.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with a bar. So, unless you have struggle with alcoholism, you shouldn't be going to a bar. And I wouldn't go to a bar with you. So, don't ask me. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah. Anywhere.
Do you believe in dating apps? I don't want to say believe in, but like, do you think it's useful?
For me, I don't think there's an issue with dating apps. I think there's certain dating apps that are worse than others. There's certain dating apps that are trash and have trash people and that do trash things together. But I think there are better dating apps, and I think Jesus should be present everywhere you go. So if you want to have a dating app and get no clicks, put Jesus all through your profile. But you should put, you don't have to put it, the answer to every question as Jesus, obviously not. But Jesus should be on your profile because Jesus is active in your life. And that's what I look for on dating apps. I'm on a couple, and when I look, if I'm assessing a profile, if I just see Christian, I'm probably not going to swipe. I'm probably going to be like, nah, if I have to see something else, I have to see something, because that's a pretty clear sign to me that your Jesus isn't active in your life, and that's not what you're not looking to have him be a part of your dating life if you wouldn't put him on your dating profile. Now, it doesn't have to be weird, but it just, like, there needs to be a gospel. Like I said, a gospel presence is a green flag. There needs to be a gospel presence. And one of the questions I know is like, what is your typical Sunday? You know, if you don't mention church or whatever, you know,
Oh my gosh.
and you want to look for the name Jesus, not just God.
Huh?
That sounds like a Hinge question.
What's your Sunday like?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a Hinge question. I'm on Hinge, and
What's Hinge?
Hinge is a dating app.
Dating app.
It's like one of the better dating apps. Yeah.
I gave up on dating apps. That's
Now,
a good question. You know, that's the whole
I think biblically there's no ban. I think you need to assess that for your person. Like if you are incapable of letting Jesus be active in your dating life, if you are easily persuaded and tempted to date people you know you shouldn't because of things that aren't important, then you shouldn't be on online dating apps. And I mean, you have to be honest with yourself in the same way about being absent in dating. If you're not going to be honest with yourself, if you're not going to get real, if you're not going to allow Jesus to come into your dating life, then you're set for destruction and chaos. Like there's really nothing you're like, and that's the thing, like people, you have to choose Jesus yourself, and you have to choose to put Jesus in every aspect of your life. You have to choose that. It doesn't just happen automatically. Like you have to actively put Jesus on your profile. You have to actually talk about these specific topics. Like when you meet somebody, and it's tougher because you have no life connection. You don't meet them out and about. There's no, like, they're not in your network. You know, some people say you should only date within your network, which is fine, but I don't think there's anything wrong with going outside of your network to find someone who, you know, because your network can always expand, but it's less likely you'll meet somebody on social media that, or Hinge or dating apps, period, that could assimilate to your life in Christ. And so that's why Jesus should be on your profile. And then, you know, Instagram is, I think, the most popular dating site, as according to people. It's not officially, but a lot of people.
In my head, I was like, wait, what?
No, people use, you know, that's what they say. They say Instagram is like the most popular dating
No,
site.
it's like Facebook. Facebook actually has a dating.
I know
That's why I'm like,
I know Facebook's are that.
Instagram passed me, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You just
So-
mean like how people use it. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People usually
I
be
don't-
trying to hook up on it.
I used to do dating apps. I used to, but insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result, right? And the more oh my gosh, insanity, right, is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. So to keep being on apps and not getting what you're looking for, so I stopped. I felt like I was insane.
Yeah, and I think if you were doing it the exact same way, that's insanity. But like I said, if you do things differently on there, it could be
Yeah,
different.
that's
So
true.
like I said,
I mean, but I've always I think that's one of the when I was on dating apps. It's one of the first things I said. Jesus lover. So
oh, yeah,
if
you're
you
not
ain't
gonna get
love
many
Jesus,
hits.
you ain't got.
You're not gonna get
That's
many hits.
actually.
Well,
I mean, the
they
right
weren't.
hits.
They weren't the right
The
hits.
right
Yeah, I was about to
hits.
say, they was
But
hitting for something else.
yeah, and then people don't realize like, and then you have a conversation with me, and you realize how serious I am about Jesus, and it's like, oh, that's different. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't go on a dating app, but
That's
I
fine.
wouldn't deter somebody from going on a dating app. You might meet, person.
I would deter you if it's gonna
Ooh.
be like temptation, or if you might get. I would deter him. Yeah, because
I wouldn't go on it just the simple fact that it didn't work for me, so I would never go back on it. But
Wait, say it again.
it didn't work for me, so I just wouldn't go back
yeah.
on it.
Yeah, so it could be a breeding ground for bad stuff, but even church could be that. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because a lot of people be acting buck wild in church.
Okay. What did your last relationship teach you?
Ooh. My last relationship taught me that you can't force it. And just because somebody is in church and is serving in church and on paper is perfect, doesn't mean it's going to work out. God has to be in it. And like, that's one thing. Like, I've met someone that was serving in multiple areas of church, and we were equally yoked. We were prioritized purity. We had chemistry. We were attracted to each other, and it still didn't work out because, it just. I mean, I can go deeper into that, but that's not what y'all here for. But basically, I learned that just because they're good on paper don't mean they're really good.
Okay. I say go deeper if you want.
I mean, I think from my perspective, there were some things she needed to work through. Like submission was a huge issue for her. Like she didn't even want to talk about it. And, that's always a red flag for me. If that's another red flag is if a woman, we talk about submission and you don't even want to talk about it, like certain important topics, like you don't even want to mention, like, what is your ideas of it? What do you believe about it and all this? What does it look like? And so that was like something that she struggled with. And you got to learn who's really like your friends, like, because you can introduce your friends to your significant other and then you realize they're not really your friends because some of them either liked you or they don't like her or they're causing drama and gossiping. Yeah. it's you got to be careful. There should be some accountability people that you are involved in all of the aspects of your dating life, but then most people shouldn't. Most people don't need to know your business because everybody's got something to say. So everybody don't need to say something. That you don't have to give everybody an opportunity. I learned that really God is, for me specifically, God is the only one that's going to give me my wife. Because, I've done everything I could. I mean, I met somebody I did everything I could. Like I found somebody that was perfect on paper, but it still didn't work out because God wasn't in it. So, it's disappointing, but it is what it is. You move on. I think for me, it was just like the further ahead I got in my ministry and all this stuff, like dating is just so different. Because it's like, I look at somebody, I'm like, I would say I'm attracted to them. They're good looking. So then, I mean, for men, that's the first thing we look for, because we're not even interested if we're not. But you can understand it. You can understand men. We're simple. We're not simple.
At the base,
We're pretty simple.
Once you crack the shell, then it starts getting complex.
I don't think that. I mean, maybe.
We're definitely more simple than y'all.
That's facts.
That can be an argument.
That could be an argument.
In my opinion, it could be an argument.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I learned.
Okay. What advice do you have for someone who's looking to date that are single?
My advice first would be pursue the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added to you. Find your purpose in God. Like, if you don't have your purpose in God, you're not ready to date. Period. That's done. Especially for men. If you don't know who you are, you don't know what you're here to do. If God hasn't confirmed that to you at least, then you don't have anything to offer a woman. Then you definitely can't lead her. Like I said, if you don't have a heading, then all you and her are going to do is drift in the sea. Like, nah, you need to have a specific heading, where we're going, and then that will help you select the right one. Because at the end of the day, a woman is supposed to be a helpmeet to help you fulfill God's purpose in your life. And if you don't know what God's purpose for your life is, then how a woman going to help you? She can't help you. She don't know what's going. You don't know what's going on. So how's she going to know? And it does make you more attractive. As men, it makes you more attractive when you are a man that knows what he's doing and you're on purpose. So yeah. So you need to find that. You need to have a gospel community that you feel comfortable expressing yourself, talking about what's going on in your life, not just that you just study the Bible with, but like you actually hang out with, but that are equally yoked with you. Because equally yoked doesn't just mean dating; it means relationship. And so and then ask the tough questions soon, quick, before emotions come into play. Because when emotions come, it's harder. It's harder, and the fallout is steeper. So ask the money questions, ask the submission questions, ask the sex expectation questions, ask the family dynamic questions, ask the where are we going to live questions, ask the, what do you expect a woman or wife or a husband to be? Ask those questions, get those all out, and spend lots of time. Maybe not on the first date. See if you actually like the person, period. But soon. Ask them soon. Don't wait till 6-7 months. Don't wait till 4 months. Don't wait till a month. It should be within the first month. No. It needs to be within the first month. No, because the way you was looking, it was like, the first month. First month, you need to be asking, because what are you doing? If you have a stark disagreement on some fundamental things, like, or if there's something she's got in her life or he's got in his life that you don't want to deal with, you need to know that quickly so you don't have to waste nobody's time, waste your time or waste her time. And you need to vet them, especially men. You need to vet, because when you get marriage is real, and marriage is holy, and marriage is for the rest of your life. It is. And the thing is, if you recognize that there's only 3 ways out, and none of them have anything to do with you, none of them have anything to do with what you do or don't do. It's everything to do with your spouse. So this whole divorce culture is not for us Christ followers, because God hates divorce, and it's devastating to everybody involved. And so
it's not so hard to get out. I just want to say that.
It's so hard.
Divorce is a long process, because it's not meant to be a thing for real.
Yeah, it's destruction. So, and then also, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That way, you can attest and approve what God's will is good, pleasing, and perfect will. So, you want to know what God's will is for your life. You want to know what God's will is for your dating life. And so in order to do that, your mind needs to be renewed and transformed. And how do you do that? You don't conform to the patterns of this world. If this world is doing something, that don't mean you do it. If this world means, you live together before you marry, that's a pattern of this world. No, we ain't shacking up. That's stupid. And the statistics, yes, the statistics show that those who live together before marriage are more likely to get divorced because it's a commitment issue. It's not about like, there are ways you can find out things about who you're dating, if you're dating correctly, without living with them. Like you're talking about, you can't tell that the guy is a slob without living with him. Like you can't tell, like you're trying to figure out if he hides bodies in the freezer in the garage. Like you can't figure that out without living with him. Like, what are you expecting to find out? Like, and then the logic behind it is false because there will be things that they do that will piss you off. There will be things that they do that you're not going to like. They will get on your nerves. All that stuff, every married couple I've ever talked to, that is not avoidable by living together. Or none of that prepares you for marriage. None of that prepares you to make a lifelong commitment. All that does is actually try to give you multiple ways out before you actually make a commitment. Because the issue is commitment. You don't want to commit. It's not about learning. You know the person, and you're not going to be able to live a life with the person before you decide to choose to live a life with the person. So it's not, you can't just cover your tracks. You can't prevent fights. You can't prevent bad things. And you can with conversations, not with like living together. And then we know if you're living together, there's no way in hell you being pure.
I think that's why they tell people not to shack up because they know it brings temptation. But is there biblically anything wrong with shacking up?
Biblically, yes, there's something wrong with shacking up. Jesus with the woman at the well, hey, you asked me. Jesus with the woman at the well told her everything she had done. He told her to go get her husband so he can tell her and him about who he is or about the kingdom of heaven. And she said, I don't have a husband. And he's like, you're right. You don't have a husband. You've had 5 husbands. And the man you're living with now is not your husband. That was a bad thing. Jesus didn't, that wasn't like, it's okay. No, why are you living with someone that's not your husband? Why? And I'm radical with it. I don't believe men and women should live together unless they're married. Or family. Like, why? Eventually, things are going to, especially if the man is really masculine and the woman is really feminine, like, nah, there's going to be friction. There's going to be bad. There's going to be issues. And if y'all not having sex, you're going to get on each other's nerves like there's no beginning. Like, sex is necessary for even men and women to even, like, want to be around each other. If there was no sex, we would never talk.
I give that a solid thumbs up. Think about just regular dating. Like, if men know that they're not gonna be able to have sex with this girl, they don't even try to talk to her. So if that was the reality with men and women, period, like we know that there's never gonna be any sex between us. I'd give that one a solid thumbs up.
I can't agree or disagree. I'm not a man. I don't know.
I'm not saying
but it's valid. It's valid. That's why I asked the questions that I asked because I want to get perspective. Even with shacking up, whether I believe in it or not, it has nothing to do with anything. It's just
I wanted to know. Do with everything.
Not right now, yeah. But am I gonna shack up with somebody? No. Okay. But I wanted to know: is it wrong though?
Yes.
Like,
I don't see how it could be. That's like people saying they can masturbate without lusting. Like, is it possible? Is it illogical? No. But it's impossible, in my opinion. So for me, it's like, you're going to live together and not be married and you're not tempted? Like, all that stuff. And like, no, it's wrong. I mean, it's wrong. But I would never suggest it. And I would tell anybody who's living together and they're not married to either get married. And if the idea of marrying the person you're living with is like a bad idea, then you got some other problems. Get married or get your own place. Like, you don't need to be living together. Now, if you're about to get married or you're about to get, like, you're engaged or you know, the wedding day is in 6 months, like, whatever. But that's fine.
That's That's great. I'm glad that you said that. Okay. I'm not gonna say nothing to it, but I'm glad that you said that.
I don't see. It depends on your living situation, but I don't see the point. You might. I mean, if you are going to get married at the end of the year and your lease is up, and you're like, I don't want to renew my lease. Let's live together. That's a good question, actually. That's a good question. I need more information on that hypothetical before I give an answer. But I think that
it was your hypothetical.
I know, but I need more information. Like it depends. Like it depends on, like, can you live with somebody else? Can y'all have roommates? Like, because the idea is like you've gone this far without having sex. You've gone this far without being pure, and now you're gonna mess it all up.
Well, do they have to really mess it up?
What?
What if they don't mess it up? What if it's just...
All I know is if I've been dating a woman and I know I'm going to marry her, and then actually we're planning on getting married, we're planning our wedding, that's probably going to be the hardest time to be pure, like, ever.
I'm not saying it'll be easy, but it's doable.
It's impossible.
I don't know.
It's impossible. I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be all up in there. All up in there.
That's you.
And nobody... Listen.
Oh my gosh.
You're going to be coming out the shower, steaming, moist and wet.
Not moist.
And I'm supposed to, and then, that's you. Like, you're going to be you have towels wrapped around you. You're going to be walking around with all them pajama shorts or all these things, these short shorts, these leggings. You're going to be cooking for me. And it's gonna be some good food, and we're gonna be watching. What are we gonna do? We're gonna watch TV, and you're gonna be in my arms, cuddling and stuff, and then what?
Somebody got PTSD.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, it makes no sense.
I just feel as though if you are on the verge of marriage,
that was the first
time. If you are engaged and wedding is coming up, and you just so happen that a lease is up or whatever the case may be, I think that it can be doable. I won't.
It can be doable, sure.
You just wouldn't recommend it.
Now, I guess what is doable? It's being
Living,
pure for 6 months.
Yeah, you're already doing it.
So we're planning a wedding. She gonna be in the shower.
You keep thinking.
Zach,
I don't know.
Somebody's coming in the shower. Somebody's coming in the room. Somebody's coming in. So if I'm about to marry this woman and she's over there taking a shower, we're hanging out. We just been on dates and stuff, and then she's going in the shower.
That's when you stay focused on God.
Okay. He's present. He gets real present.
God's gonna be like, I can't help you.
Because then it's not just you. It's her too, right? Y'all both have the same. Oh my gosh! Y'all both.
They always want to act.
Y'all both had the same.
They want to act like they don't be doing nothing.
We are innocent.
They don't be doing nothing. They don't be tempting. They don't be wearing what they wear, and it's like, well, no.
But look, it's like where you fall short, or it's like, all right, this is gonna happen. The woman can say no. Right? Y'all both have the same focus.
So she would say no.
I'm sure. Well,
6 months to the wedding.
I can't speak for somebody else, but I can speak for myself. And if I'm waiting until marriage, I'm waiting until marriage.
Have you been engaged and lived with your fiance before you got married?
No.
So you don't know what you would do.
I do know I know myself.
What should happen and what would happen should be the same thing.
I agree. I don't know.
Like you said earlier, you have to know yourself. You have to set your own, the boundaries. You can't be alone with a woman, or else you're gonna be trying to get in it like swimwear. All right.
And then like swimwear.
But
like underwear.
Sorry. but for some people, it's a real reality. Like, especially how you said, stay focused. You want to have a relationship that is pleasing to God. You want to have a presence. You want Jesus
I wish
to
I
have
could
his
see
presence.
him.
But you want to have, you want Jesus to be present in your relationship at all times. So that's when it really goes back to stay focused. Yeah, she's gonna come out the shower looking good as hell.
Well, then also in times like I guess back in the day when people were dating, like the woman was always just living at home, right? And then when it came time to get married, you would take them from her home. It's not like that nowadays because it's just not.
Yeah,
But
you ain't living
that would have
life.
been, and I'm not going back either. So,
but you know,
yeah.
Listen, that's one thing that's one thing I hear a lot is from my perspective. So I'm not trying to be sexist, but women always say, "Oh, I'm not. Oh, I can control myself. I'm good. I'm this." And then they have never even been in that circumstance. I've had women tell me that I have the issue with self-control, and they've never even been in an abstinent relationship. So it's like,
I've heard that one too.
like you telling me what you know you would or would not do, but you've never even been through them trials. You never even felt like that. You've never wanted to have sex, was in a position to have sex, and then didn't have sex. Like that's different.
I feel like, and coming from a woman's perspective, I can't speak on like situations that I've never been in, but I do know my commitment to God, right? And so if I'm committed to Him, like I say I am, I don't care what's thrown in front of me. That's just
You
me.
still don't know. You still don't know until you get there.
Okay.
Okay? Because you saying this, and that sounds great. But then when the time comes, you be surprised. Look,
I'm not saying
it
it won't be
starts
hard.
small.
It
It
won't-
starts small. It starts with, you can give me another hug. It starts with, oh, why you leaving? And we would, listen, in my last relationship, we were doing a Bible study. She want to cuddle while we doing a Bible study. I'm like, nope. You going to be on that couch. I'm going to be on this couch. And then I was like, all right, I got to go. It's like, why are you leaving? And it's like, you know why I'm leaving, but then you act all cuddly and all this sweetness and why you don't have to go yet. And it's like, give me a hug. And I give you a hug and I leave. And it's like, you know, you can give me another hug. And then it be that. And the next thing you know, and I mean, I was strong enough. I left, but we talked about it afterwards. Like she wanted another one. And it's like, and then, you know, the way y'all be looking.
Emotional. Women are
Exactly.
crazy.
So you ain't got none of those
I say
emotions right now.
crazy.
So you don't even know.
Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it alone.
No, women are emotional. What?
Women are emotional, and you know it's hard because I am just not the most affectionate person. I'm really not. So a lot of the stuff I can do without. But a woman is designed to want that, so it's in her nature to want it.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
in
not
her
saying it's
nature
bad
to-
to want it. It's not the right time, and that's why you shouldn't be living together. That was the whole thing.
Living together, dating, while dating. I was saying
Until you're married.
but it's because of the. I agree though. Like I wouldn't live with someone until we are married. Like I wanna. That's different. But I'm just saying, like I don't think that it can't be possible to live with someone.
Is it illogical? No. Is it possible? I don't think so.
That's
But-
opinionated.
This day and age is financially beneficial.
I have not met one couple, and I'm not saying they don't exist, but I've not met one couple that was living together and it wasn't smashing.
I know a couple that are living
Oh,
together.
sure.
That's
Okay. And
that's why
you
I
took their
asked
word
them.
for it, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
I take people's word for it.
Okay.
But like I know, like
Somebody got licked.
oh my god.
Somebody. They
Okay.
weren't pure.
Okay.
Well, first of all, let's stop this idea that you could be dating someone. We're talking about people who are attracted to each other like a lot. And if we're talking about Christians, we're talking about people who've been abstinent probably for some time. So as someone who is a Christian, abstinent for a long time, this is what it is. Like,
No.
yes.
But then men are. I think is sex. I don't know. I don't want to say this. I'm not
Sex
saying, but
is
sex
very, very
designed for
important.
men.
Huh? Sex was designed for both men and women. Because women love sex.
But it's not something that we need.
I disagree with that. But I think you guys have a different trigger than us. If you are look good, smell good, that's about it. Women, you know, y'all need to hear the right things. Y'all like ovens. So like y'all need to be preheated and, you know.
But I say that to say,
yes.
so, you know, like you said earlier that you know, like when it comes to dating, a woman wouldn't just be like, you know, let's have sex. Like it's a process. Maybe like I think the number is like 90 days, right? It's like 3 months.
That's Steve
I think but it's kind of true.
Is it?
Yeah, like people, it may not be 90 days. It
Yeah, it
could be
depends on
like
the
2
woman.
months. It could be a month. It
It's
could
a
be a day.
process.
You know, it's
Yeah.
but it's just like
It ain't like men. It's
but
this.
sometimes for me, exactly. So
If I see you, well, I gotta smell you first. Because if you smell bad, some women be musty. And
musty.
like they be gorgeous and they
ain't
musty.
lying, though.
And then it'd be like,
The statement is
This.
yes. No, she left the gym.
Okay.
Or
Oh my
the fish market.
Ooh.
Hey, that's another thing.
All right.
That's a different conversation.
Because they are getting me off track. I forgot what I was saying. I'm about to give you I'm about to throw you off.
Okay.
Because I do this with everybody on my show. What's your favorite gospel song?
Oh, Purge Me, Jesus.
Sing a little bit of your favorite gospel song.
I can't sing.
I didn't ask you if you could sing.
I can't sing. Nah, you're not about to have me embarrassing myself. No, I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Just say
I
a
speak.
little bit. Okay, then say it.
Oh, I gotta look it up. I don't really.
That's
not
not
a
your
lyrics.
favorite thing.
I'm not
It's
a
not your
lyrics
favorite.
person.
If I knew it, I would have sung it for y'all because that was the point of me asking the question. But I don't know it, so I can't.
Oh, you were gonna sing it?
I would if I knew it. I would have.
Skip me. Purge Me, Jesus by John B. Key. Look it up. All right.
That's it. Thank you. No, I'm talking to you.
Oh,
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I hope
This is good. This
yeah.
is really good, y'all. I hope we gave clarification to questions or answers to questions, and it's helpful. That was the whole point of this video.
I had a great time.
Oh, shameless plug. Zachary Carroll on YouTube. I don't really know his Instagrams, but maybe I'll put it down here.
_ Zachary Carroll.
He's single. I'm not gonna say slide in his DMs because he has a list. Yeah. If y'all wasn't listening to, if you feel like, you know, you a green flag to what he was saying, I suggest you just slide on in there. Yeah.
If Jesus is not a presence in your life, don't worry about it.
Christian Hood Talk.
You have a sign off?
No, that's it. I'll just say bye.